It's been a while since I've watched a shonen show that doesn't revolve around weapons, special powers, fighting, or kicking ass. Instead, we have a fight for survival in a strange world with emphasis on friendship and building allies. This was probably one of the more hyped shows out in summer 2019, and even though I hadn't read the manga, I was aware of this series and that made me excited to check it out. So with that said, let's see if Dr. Stone is good. Hot off the heels of an insanely popular manga series, Dr. Stone is a pretty unique take on shonen. Usually you see a ton of battle manga out, but this one has me intrigued, because the struggle isn't against some super powerful dude the protagonist has to fight with some weird powers or techniques. This lets the series focus more on characters, with a pretty damn realistic setting, and battles of ideology and survival in a prehistoric world, despite taking place in the future. So in the modern day, the entire human race was suddenly turned to solid stone mysteriously, and grinding human civilization to a halt. This let nature take over the world once more. Animals escaped from zoos, forests filled in cities, and buildings or structures gave way to the tides of time, which leads to a drastically changed landscape when the two protagonists break out of stone to find their entire lives utterly destroyed. The primary protagonist, Senku, is a genius scientist with a broad background in pretty much every field from engineering, chemistry, physics, biology, and whatever other thing the series could reasonably put under the science umbrella, making him humanity's sole chance at rebuilding to its former glory. His best friend is a muscle-bound idiot named Taiju, who's the brawn to Senku's brains. He's responsible for the heavy lifting, harvesting, and stuff that Senku isn't that great with. But as I mentioned, while most shonen shows focus on battles, this one with its setting and premise allows the series to explore a multitude of different worldviews with direct consequences. What would a world built entirely on brawn, where the strong, pure children were the only ones allowed to thrive, look like? What would a world without humans look like? What would a world where science solves all of our problems be like? Hell, even pitting overwhelming might against impossible intellect to see which of those two ideologies would win out is an interesting core struggle. But the show doesn't feel like it's content to just explore those two ideologies. It also takes an interesting look at characters. Taiju is Senku's childhood friend, always being his lackey when it comes to heavy lifting, but is reliable and naive to a fault that Senku respects him for his strong, unwavering conviction. And you can see that demonstrated by him thinking about his crush, Yuzuriha, throughout the entire time he was in stone. Senku, on the other hand, would easily fit as the typical evil scientist in any other series. But due to his strong faith in the goodness of humanity, he comes across as a bit of a dick, but ultimately a well-meaning guy out to save the world. Juxtapose this with the main antagonist of the season, Tsukasa, a guy who's seemingly kind, overprotective, and strong in his views, as well as being an all-around badass who kicks all the ass. But he has a fundamentally flawed view of humanity. Having a strong dislike for adults flips the typical personality associated with shonen protagonists. Rather than the self-sacrificing dude out to save his friends after the conniving bad guy who only thinks of himself, Senku and Tsukasa are almost the opposite of that dynamic, with the core motivations remaining intact. So while the premise is intriguing, and the plot isn't super fleshed out, the unique spin on characters muddling through their circumstances is a definite strong point for this series as a whole. And that alone makes this pretty damn interesting for a shonen series. It goes against the grain of a lot of industry trends. So strong characters butting heads over ideologies in a primitive world deciding which direction to take the planet is a good basic plot that has me interested in how it'll play out. How will Senku beat Tsukasa and build a modern society from scratch? Will Taiju ever express his love for Yuzuriha? These are all good questions to leave the audience with. These aren't questions that have me wondering what the hell the writer was thinking, but questions that I'm asking about the plot's direction. Questions I'm legitimately interested in finding out. If that sounds like an interesting concept, you're probably already sold. But before you race off to Crunchyroll or whatever to start binging this series, let's talk animation. It's decent enough. It's handled by the same studio who did Detective Conan and Sonic X, so if you're a fan of their animation style, you'll be at home here. Though I find that this one has a nice polished look to the art itself, with some nice shiny details and character in the animation. It's nothing particularly unique, but it has a nice rounded look with exaggerated mouth movements. The animation itself feels a bit plain, however. Not that the show doesn't flex with some dynamic movements, but a lot of it is just characters talking, or cuts to a more simplistic art style for cutaway gags. That's sort of typical of a lot of modern-day shonen series, where the humor is predominantly chibi cutaways or the characters devolving into that. I'm not against it, but it feels very similar to something like My Hero Academia's style in that regard. Hell, I'm even seeing that in Kimetsu no Yaiba from time to time. So overall, it's not standout. It doesn't distract by being bad, but it also doesn't knock me on my ass with how awesome the action scenes are or how cool it makes the world look. It mostly just gets the job done. So, average leaning towards good. So, is Dr. Stone good? Well, it's a pretty solid experience. And no, I didn't mean for that to be a pun. I will say that if you're into shonen, it's an easy grab, because a lot of the core themes associated with the genre are still present, even if it lacks the battle-centric subgenre that dominates. I can see why this series has a following, and watching this show will probably have me pick up the manga on a weekly basis, because I'm enjoying what it's doing. Themes of friendship and maturation in a strange world, and finding one's place in it, are key aspects most can identify with. And I'm looking forward to how this show handles those with such a standout premise. And if you're not watching Dr. Stone, I'd suggest picking it up if you don't hate the mere concept of shonen anime. Hey, you made it to the end of the video! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that other YouTube stuff because that really helps me out. Thanks for watching.